We talk about this is the lesson that we are going to do today, the organization structure and employees. So when you're going to understand the organization structure, we're going to find out like a different words like hierarchy, flat structure, tall structure, centralized, decentralized, and how their responsibilities and accountability, compliance, everything, the span of control, chain of command, delegation. So you'll be learn so many interesting words today, right? So in this case study, you can see it's a Zeta Hotel, the Nepal, one small hotel in Nepal. Is one of the 68 hotel owned by the international hotel chain. And the hotel staff work in one of the five departments. These are shown in an organization chart. The general manager's name is Anil Kambris, responsible for running the hotel. He is accountable to an area manager and submits a weekly sales report. So he's like a main responsible, like a head of the organization, general manager. He also hosts regular team meetings also with the other heads of department and discuss the progress of their and they resolve the problems. The other department manages a front office manager, they called Trishana, the Ravel, and then runs the reception area at the hotel. That's also important part. She leads a team of 6 staff and she's responsible for ensuring that the guest check-in process runs smoothly. Receptionist also deals with the guest queries and then throughout their stay and then process payments when they leave. Third function is a reservation and marketing. As a Kajal Verma runs this department's Kajal reservation marketing part. It's aimed to actually sell all the rooms each night at the best prices, possible prices. So bookings can be managed made online, by telephone, or by a travel agent, or in a person. In person. So 9 people are employed in this department, which are also responsible for maintaining a hotel website and promoting the hotel. A simple form is used to gather feedback from the customer before they. This is we talk about in marketing management. Where we talk in that's a human like when your guest feedback we can collect from the like check-in check-out situations, especially checkout. They are giving some kind of like a feedback form about the hotel, the reservation, about the food, and about the hospitality, etc. Housekeeping department is a department employs 12 people and is run by the called Pradeep and is responsible for the cleanliness of the hotel's public areas and services in guest rooms every day. It's important housekeeping and like a indoor, outdoor, the gardening, maintaining the cleanliness because no one wants to actually stay in a messy area place. So it should be cleanliness is an important function in a hotel. So hotel's public area servicing guest rooms every day. The Pradeep is also in charge of the keeping records of all the hotel supplies and equipments. Yeah, so this is the story of the hotel case study, and also there's another more 2 departments are there: restaurants and the kitchen. Restaurant department is actually led by Indu Chand, and the restaurant manager. She's responsible for managing 13 staff at the restaurant. She works very closely with the executive chef in kitchen. The kitchen is a Arif is an executive chef and responsible for the designing menu, purchasing food, and supervising the 22 staff of chef and other kitchen workers. He works very closely with Indu. So Indu is a restaurant manager, and then restaurant manager and the Basanta and the head chef. Okay, you can see the simply the design is there. The general manager. You can see one, two, three, four, five. The 5 departments are there: front house, reservation, marketing, housekeeping, restaurant, and kitchen. Right. So there are 4 questions are there asking from this case study. If you thoroughly, if you analyze this case study, asking is a question who is control of the Zeta Hotel, the general manager, right? Anil Karim is responsible for running the hotel. He is the control and accountable as to an area manager. So Anil Karim, we have mentioned the name. Like a state question, so state who is in control. Describe briefly how the Zeta Hotel is organized. Because it's the outline question, so I should change the command word. Outline briefly how the Zeta Hotel is organized. You can say like, yes, staff at the Zeta Hotel are divided into 5 different departments. These are front office, reservations, marketing, housekeeping, the kitchen, and the restaurant. Each department has a leader who is accountable to Anil Karim, the general manager. Right, that's how I to explain. This is divided into 5 departments, and these are the heads. These are the things they are doing, and they're responsible for this person. Third one asking what is Kajal's roles in the organization? So Kajal Verma is head of reservations and marketing department. If you go through that, So the marketing guy in the restaurant, in the hotel, and then he must ensure that all rooms are in the hotel's area are sold out each night at the best possible price. So he's responsible for 9 other people employed in the department, which maintains the hotel website and promotes the hotel. Right. So question of who asking to whom Basanta and Pradeep accountable. So Basanta's name here mentioning coming under Basanta. So she's responsible for accountable for Arif. Is the because she's working under Arif. Uh, so she the executive chef. And the situation of Pradeep. So Pradeep also is accountable to Anil Karmi, the general manager. Pradeep is accountable for Anil because Pradeep is a head of the housekeeping. So he's responsible for directly go to the general manager. Okay. Now we move on to the, I think you can find out just general idea how organization is actually organization form. And then organization, we are going to find out what is a chart. So you can see a formal organization is the internal structure of a business. Is as shown by organization chart. And in organization chart is a diagram that shows the different job roles in a business and how they relate to each other. How they relate to each other. So running a business involves planning, decision making, coordination, and communication. And these tasks are easier if workers are organized into a structure made up of different functions or departments. The internal structure of a business is known as a formal organization. The internal structure of a business is known as formal organization. The formal organization can be represented by an organization chart. It shows. So sometimes in questions they are asking sometimes what are the things that what are the uh, things that can be shown, can be represented by organization chart. You can see number one, how the business is split into different functions or departments, the roles of employees and their job titles, who has responsibility, to whom the people are accountable, the communication channels, the relationship between different positions in the business. So these are the main things that we can advantage of preparing an organization chart. We can find out what are the functions of the departments, the roles of the employees and their job titles, the responsibility sharing, the communication channels, the relationships, and everything. So you can see that this hierarchy, the organization chart is typical organization structure. It's the organization chart of the Denham PLC. In this, you can see chairperson. We don't call chairman right now because of the gender discrimination. Called chairperson. And then there are main 4 departments. We can see the production, finance, human resource, and marketing departments. The production department, you can see there is another 3 divisions: transport manager, production manager, and the product designer. So under them, we can see the numbers. This number represents the number of, for example, transport manager responsible for managing. There are 3 drivers working under transport manager, and 5 factory supervisors are there under production manager. So under 5 supervisors, there are another 100 operators are working under 5 supervisors. So you can see generally like a, okay, at least one supervisor must get like 20, right? So 5 supervisors, under 5 supervisors, 100 workers are there, operators, machine operators. And then under one product designer, there's only one assistant for the product design. So it's the one production designing coming from them, and they're producing and they're transporting. Everything comes under production. Finance department, you can see cost accountant. Under that, there are another under cost accountant, there are 3 drivers working. Financial accountant, and that there are assistant accountant, and then 4 accounts clerks. In the human resource department, there's a welfare officer, payroll officer, and the personal assistant. There are 3 personal assistants are there, and HR, human resource, a personal department. In the marketing department, you can see the regional sales manager. 4 regional sales managers are there, and then under them there are under one regional sales manager, under 4 regional sales manager, there are 20 sales reps. Under 20 sales reps, there are 4 sales admins are there. So under marketing manager, there are 2 assistant managers are there. So that's how marketing department, production, human resource, everything actually divided. So this is the organization charts. You can find out these different roles of the employees, employee roles and responsibilities in these different organization routines. The roles played by employees vary depending on the size and type of the business. The roles outlined here refer to the chart director. The director is appointed by the owners to run the business together with the chairperson. You can see there are so many like director board called BOD, the board of directors. So there are certain, yeah, sometimes executive directors, sometimes non-executive directors. So they are sometimes directors, some they can be shareholders. So they non-executive directors are not shareholders. So but anyway, by being a director means like organization, there's like a super like executive position. They have power for decision making. Like this case, then ham is divided into four departments: production, marketing, HR, and finance. So director runs each of these departments, like marketing director, finance director, production director, like that. These four directors are accountable to the chairperson, and they also have the authority over the manager in the layer below them. So you can see the managers have a number of functions. They are responsible for planning, controlling, organizing, and motivating, problem solving, and decision making also. However, their overall role is to achieve and the objective of the owners. They are employed to get these things done using the resources and the business as effectively as possible. They are also leaders and help to guide the shape of the business. So managers, what they are mainly doing, you can uh, note down, responsible for planning, organizing, leading, controlling, called POLC. POLC, planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Uh, Planning, everything at a plan, and then organizing, to organize the task, duties, responsibilities. Leading, leadership, under leadership only motivation, communication, mm, everything comes under. And then controlling part. So controlling means feedback control, feed forward control, concurrent control. There are controlling parts of there. So every manager, you can see every department there's a manager: production department, production manager; finance department, finance manager; right, welfare and all that, human resource department, human resource manager; sales department, marketing manager, like that. There are so many managers are there. And there's another category called supervisors. Supervisor means like a kind of a like a supervisory role in the particular area. There is a, they are below the managers, but they have some kind of a authority to control some operatives, like a middle level management. So not a top level management. Supervisors comes under middle level or lower level management. Supervisors monitor the work in their particular area. So they have authority over the operatives and general workers. At the Bedenham PLC, there are five factory supervisors. You can see that in the only supervisor you can see only production department. And then over 20 operative supervisors may carry out managerial duties, but at a lower level. For example, figure 23.2 shows that the assistant accountant, the payroll officer, and the sales reps are at all the same level in the hierarchy. The other one is operatives. Operatives are like a machine, like they are, these are normal general workers, skilled workers. They are involved in the production process. For an example, the many operation machines assemble products for the tools to carry out the maintenance. There are 100 operatives are there employed in the production department, and they're accountable to supervisors or managers. They're shown near the bottom of the hierarchy. The other one is the general staff. Normally, so like drivers and normal workers, employee staff do not have any specific skills. However, with training, they can perform a variety of tasks and gain a promotion to other positions, like general staff, including like drivers, assistants, right, and the accounts clerks and everything. So the people with like admin jobs, right, administration jobs also. They are shown in the bottom of the hierarchy. And there are professional staff. These are actually outside, like they're not full time. Sometimes they're working over one different contractual obligation is there for the professional staff. They come and they just do their assignment and they go, like highly trained people like lawyers, accountants, like doctors, pilots, right, dentists, like places where a lot of professionals are employed. Organizing charts may be different, right? Okay, let's go to like another one more activity number one. Case study, you can see zoo using motors. The Taiwanese company, the Su Motors, makes three types of electric motors. The company employs 300 staff and supplies refrigerator manufacturers in the Far East. The factory operates three production lines called A, B, and C for each of these three electric motor produce. So, and this shows by the organization chart, as a chairperson, and then comes the production director, And after that, production manager, you can see the more priority they are giving only the production line, right? So because they haven't given other marketing and the HR and other sides, finance side also, only production department, production director, after the production manager, and there is a line A, line B, line B, because there are three motor cars they are producing, motors, A, B, C lines, and production like a support manager, like can be maintenance manager. So maintenance is so important. Production is going on, they are going doing the supply part, the maintenance part. If there's a machine repair or something comes, they will go and check it. So machine line A manager, under that you have four supervisors, 40 machinists. Line B, there are two supervisors and 22 machinists. Line C, there are two supervisors and 24 machinists. So in the production support manager, you can see the packing, cleaning, repair, maintenance, everything. And that there are technicians and five packers and six cleaners are there. Right. So the question asking again, name two examples of the operatives. Name two examples of operatives of the soup motors. You can see according to the organization chart, you can see the machinist and technicians are the examples of the operatives of the soup motors. Machinist and technicians, they are the lower level. Right. So they're asking definitions. What is meant by the terms formal organization and what is meant by the term hierarchy? Right. The formal organization is when a business grow, tasks such as planning, decision making, coordination, communications are easier if people are organized into a structure made up of several different departments. This internal structure is known as formal organization of a business. Right. The division of all these structures, departments, is known as a formal organization of a business. So it can be represented by an organizational chart. In this case, an organization chart is shown for the production department as Zoom Motors and shows how staff in the department are formally organized. For example, if it shows that the 40 machinists on line A are accountable in the four supervisors in the line. Right. To the hierarchy, many organization structures are hierarchical. This means that there are different layers of responsibility in an organization. The lowest is usually at the bottom and the highest is at the top. For example, in Sue Motors, the chairperson who has the most responsibility, you can see, is at the top of the hierarchy, right? And those at the bottom include machinists, packers, and cleaners, right? Who have very little responsibility. You can see the chairman has a more responsibility, and these packers and cleaners, they have like machinists, they have very little responsibility. Right. Now we'll move on to the like other these things like the formal organization structure, hierarchy, and then we are going to another one more important feature of an organized chart, that is chain of command. Chain of command definition is there in the vocabulary thing, the route through which orders are passed down in the hierarchy. The route through which orders are passed down in the hierarchy is known as the chain of command. So this important word, because sometimes they're asking for define this word, define chain of command, define delegation and all. So organization chart shows the chain of command in a business. This is the route through which orders are passed down in the hierarchy. Each layer is a hierarchy is like uh, linked, right? In the each layer in the hierarchy is like a link in a chain. Orders will pass down through the layers from the top to the bottom, and information may also flow back from the bottom to the top in the chain of command. It's too long. So it's like that. So how actually chain of command, when the organization become like too large organization, the chain of command will be like a long chain of command. So if you have very few members in the organization, we call like a short chain of command. So messages may get lost or confused as they pass up and down the chain of change, and changes might not be accepted lower down the chain. Therefore, if there are a lot of links in the chain, the risk of instructions are not being implemented is higher. Right? So you can see this everything actually what we have discussed is there in my handout. Also, you can see there the centralization, decentralization, and then the here we go, the organization basic things. Yeah. Hierarchy. Hierarchy refers to management levels within an organization. There are three management levels out there. We can arrange a particular set. So you can say this is a top level. If you have a handout, you can write down the top level, and this is a middle level, and this is called the lower level. Top, middle, and low. Top level management, middle level management, and the low level management. This is how the organization they normally function. Right. So, for example, here you can see CEO, and this is top level management, like the directors and all. And the middle level management, like a managers of this thing, marketing manager, regional managers, right? So lower level managers are like normally like supervisors, like line managers. Okay, there are two kind of managements. Line managers are responsible for overseeing the work of the other staff, like a head of a department, like HOD. So this one, line management, is a business term described the administration of the activities that contribute directly to the output of the product or service. So here, so in your handout, you can write down this one as a line manager, and this is the subordinate line manager, and this is subordinate. So you can see he's giving orders and instructions, and they're working with these people to get their help in order to achieve the organization's objectives and goals effectively. So anyway, as being a line manager, definitely he has some kind of like a separation because of the line, the hierarchy, the responsibility, and the workload is pretty higher than these subordinates. So, so what the line manager they're doing, he delegates his responsibilities and tasks to these subordinates and get it done from them. Therefore, definitely you can see the line manager might be getting a higher salary than the subordinates, right? So subordinates mean they reports the, you can see like subordinate definition is there, report to the other staff higher up in the hierarchy. The subordinates are accountable to their line manager for their actions, right? So he's report to the staff higher up in the hierarchy, and they are accountable to the line manager for the other actions. And authority, you can see here, authority is like a refers to the power. Managers have direct subordinates and make decisions. So authority is kind of like a legal power that you're getting from the title, right? For example, if you become the president of a country, so then you have definitely more authorities there than a normal person, because that comes with the title. But after your term ends, what happens? Then authority, that power will go, and then you become a normal citizen. Then what happens? Then the power of decision making and direct subordinates and make decisions go on. That's right. Authority always comes with the title, the power to handle. After if you resign from the duties, then you don't have any authority to do anything. So that's the situation. Okay. So the other work is called a delegation. Delegation, you can see the giving the key to someone like that. So it's kind of a giving, handing over some kind of a responsibility to some other subordinate. Handing over. Not always a key means a kind of a responsibility, right? So it's when managers entrust tasks or decisions to subordinates is known as that. And the delegation is the assignment of an responsibility, right, or authority to another person, normally from a manager to a subordinate, or to carry out specific activity. So advantage of delegation means if you're doing like that, if you're a manager and if you're giving these responsibilities and tasks to your subordinates, what are the advantages? Normally, you know that if you're giving that, manager stress will be going down. The can giving some motivation to the subordinates also, because they will feel okay, they feel they are valued, and also they can be trained to become like a manager. And then also especially the workload of the senior managers gone down, and they can focus on the most important activities of an organization like that. So there are certain benefits are there of delegation. So delegation, subordinate, line manager, so many things are there. So today I want to wrap up the lesson. So mainly to talk about the most important tasks like an organization. We talk about two case studies, the hotel case study, the SAC hotel case study, and also we talk about the employees' functions and their responsibilities. What are directors' function? Who are the directors? Who are the managers? And these are like a top level management and the middle level management, and then there's a lower level management like supervisors, and underneath them like operators and operatives and general staff and everyone. So you can find out normally, like mainly this kind of organization structures are really important to smoothly function an organization, because then only meaningfully they will committed to their work, and then we can achieve the higher productivity from the organization. And finally, we talk about the chain of command, the organization, how the route that orders are passed through, the route they're taken by the orders are passed down in the hierarchy. It can be a long chain of command or a short chain of command. So if you have a long chain of command, communication will be slower, right? Decision making will be slower. That's why sometimes they are arguing that it must be chain of command should be reduced, right? So messages should be then they can pass easily, right? So then, I mean, our next lesson, then we'll move on to other part like flat structure and the tall structure in organization, how they can be actually arrange the flat structure, tall structures, and also delegation happen. We talk about delegation a little bit. How can you actually delegate your work to a subordinate, right? So in a centralized organization structure, they don't delegate that much, but decentralized structures, they delegate so much of power to others. And then there are certain things, advantages as well as disadvantages. So you always the we can't say any organization structure is the best and ideal. It depends on the situation. For example, the military in a war, you cannot actually take some time to actually, because you have to quickly make decisions. Therefore, centralized structure is ideal for that kind of, like in case of emergency kind of situation. But like a normal structure without any, you don't have a hurry to make a decision. So then hierarchical structure will be okay. So you should know these advantages, disadvantages, and these case studies and everything we'll discuss on our next session. So today, that's all we talk about today, and also that certain structure like metric structure also we have to discuss. So that one will move on to the other my next session. So today we make mainly talk about the introduction part of the hierarchies, the structures and the advantages and their roles and responsibilities and all. From that, we'll wind up our today's session with that. Then thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye.